Welcome back to Patrick Christie's Tonight. Now, documents released from the Crown Prosecution Service have revealed that Lucy Connolly's prosecution was apparently fast-tracked by the controversial Attorney General Lord Hermer. The childminder was jailed for 31 months for inciting racial hatred after posting on social media in the aftermath of the Southport stabbings. Her case was treated as, quote, an emergency charging decision under which counter-terrorism lawyers received consent for her prosecution within 12 hours of requesting it. Officials insist her charge required Lord Hermer's consent by law, and the speed was only because of a national directive to deal with cases quickly to deter further disorder after rioting in the wake of the brutal killings of 3 girls by Axel Rudy Cabana. Well, I'm joined now by Lucy Connolly herself. Lucy, thank you very much. So how did you find out then that you'd been fast-tracked and that Lord Hermer was something to do with this?
So I requested the CPS files through a SAR request, and I finally got hold of the files in the last week or so, having been told for months that they'd lost them and they'd been destroyed and they haven't got them. So, yeah, I got the documents and obviously went through them. And to be honest, Patrick, it just confirmed what I already knew, but yeah, it's quite shocking, really, some of the stuff that was written in it. You know, when we're saying, oh, you know, that the government had a hand in the courts and yet they maintain that the judiciary is independent. That's not what these documents tell me.
Using the internet without a VPN, a virtual private network, is a bit like taking to the road without car insurance. All it takes is one unlucky moment to cost you a lot of cash. This video's sponsor is Private Internet Access. They are the VPN to help keep you safe. Click the link in the description below to find out why over 30 million people have downloaded PIA to protect themselves online. A virtual private network is an app that hides your IP address and helps keep your data private. When you're browsing the internet at home, you give up a large amount of data to businesses, to shops, and indeed to social media giants too. Hackers have the ability to steal your personal data with ease, including sensitive information such as passwords, keystrokes, and even your personal photos. Private Internet Access helps protect your personal data by encrypting your internet connection to keep your data out of the hands of cyber criminals. And it's not just hackers either to be concerned about. Information can be censored too. When Canada passed their C-18 bill, social media giants decided to ban news content on their platforms. But PIA can protect your ability to consume the news and content you love. Private Internet Access is available for Windows users, Mac OS, Android, Linux, iOS, and you can use one PIA subscription to protect an unlimited amount of devices. And we've got a huge GB News discount for you too. Click the link in this video's description and you'll get a massive 83% off PIA. That's under £2 a month, the price of a coffee. And you'll get an extra 4 months completely free on top. Also, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee too. Visit piavpn.com/GB News to start protecting yourself digitally today.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, how does it feel to think that you for your, you know, which we kind of apologised for, right? Well, you deleted it for a start, but your post, I mean, that you were basically fast-tracked essentially under the same law that might have dealt with terrorists.
Well, it seems that way. I mean, all the documents between the police and the CPS are signed off by counter-terrorism at the CPS, and the dialogue between the police and the CPS from them about the Attorney General charging and the CPS telling the police that they've asked for an emergency charge. My charge has gone through an emergency charge because I wasn't charged until around about 9 p.m. I think it was on the Friday evening. By this email trail shows by about 9:30 the following morning on a Saturday, my prosecution had been signed off by the Attorney General, and like I said, it says that it was an emergency fast-tracked case. And then obviously I was put in front of a magistrate's court the following morning about 10:30 in the morning. So
no, that's what I want to ask you, because there might be some people at home now who will be saying, well, why did it really matter in a sense? If they were going to prosecute you anyway, right, which probably were, right, if they were going to prosecute you anyway, why did it matter to you? What difference did it make that it happened that quickly, or whether or not you'd have been, I suppose, like a normal person where you'd have been told to go back to court in 6 months' time? So how did that negatively impact your case, do you think?
Because it doesn't enable you to get to seek legal advice, and it doesn't enable you a fair trial. When you're almost like, as my barristers described it, dragging someone off their sofa, locking them up and charging them and remanding them all within a space of 24 hours, which is what they did to me, it kind of blows your mind a little, doesn't it? You're not thinking you're not thinking how you should be, how you normally would be. You're not thinking rationally, you're not thinking intelligently. And then, you're almost, for want of a better phrase, stuck with the duty solicitors, because where was I going to find a recommended criminal barrister solicitor between 9 o'clock at night on a Friday evening and 9:30, 10 o'clock the following Saturday morning? It just wasn't an option.
And there is a similar case study about this, by the way, which is that Labour councillor Ricky Jones was, of course, found not guilty by a jury. And I'm in favour of jury trials. If found not guilty by a jury, fine, okay. Also, I didn't agree with what he said, but there's a freedom of speech angle to that. He said what he said, etc. But the point there is he had a very long time between the incident and go to court, which allowed him, obviously, to get, by the sounds of it, very good legal representation and then walk out a free man. You were denied that, weren't you? And do you feel that the reason behind that was fundamentally political?
100%. And it was to stop me seeking good legal advice. It was to put me on the back foot and panic, and I would never have the opportunity to sit round a table with a good legal team and discuss my options. Because I was remanded immediately. Obviously, Ricky Jones was remanded, but he then got bail. I put in I put in 2 bail applications. They were both denied for no real reason. There was no legal reason to remand me. They should have given me, by law, if you're going by the law, bail. The second bail hearing, this pile of documents also shows that the second bail hearing lasted 2 minutes from start to finish. So when my solicitor went into the courts, into the bail hearing to put in an application for bail for me the second time around, it's logged. You have court logs for every kind of hearing, and it says start 11:17, end 11:19. Now, to me, in 2 minutes, you have a job to say someone's name, address and date of birth. So either my solicitor didn't put a good bail argument forward for me, or he wasn't allowed to put a bail argument because he was shut down. There's so many things like that within this document.
Absolutely mind-boggling. Look, Lucy, thank you for coming on and talking about it. Good luck to you. It's Lucy Connelly there. Spokesman for Lord Hermer said decisions to prosecute are rightly made independently of the government by the CPS. For a small number of offences, it is a legal requirement. The CPS obtains the Attorney General's consent. OK, and obviously no wrongdoing happened there.